Hello everyone, welcome to the daily newspaper analysis of the Shankar IAS Academy brought to you by the Salespedia team. So these are the articles for the discussion for today's date. So the first article titled Vice President's Questions on the Involvement of Chief Justice in the Executive Appointments from the Hindu discusses about the participation of the CGI in the executive decisions and their impact. Next article title Guardians of Green Coal from the Hindu again talks about the importance of the bamboo. And next article Modi and Trump to activate new Quad initiatives from the Indian Express, as well as the article Masters of Sea from the Indian Express. Both discusses about the maritime strategy and their importance through the Quad and through the Indian Ocean region. So let us move on to the articles discussion one by one. The first article titled Vice President Questions Involvement of Chief Justice in Executive Appointments. So, our Vice President, Mr. Jagdeep Dhankar, has mentioned how the involvement of Chief Justice of India, who is the epitome of the judiciary of India, having their presence in the appointment process of executive decisions such as the appointment of the director of the CBI. So here he mentions how it stands as a constitutional paradox. So constitutional paradox is nothing but how there has been a contradictory in the values of the constitution itself. So any processes which has a contradiction in the values of the constitutional principle in itself is meant to be standing as a constitutional paradox. So involvement of the judiciary in the both in the executive as well as in the legislative decisions, as judiciary is meant to be as a separate power, he mentions how it hinders the whole process of the democracy of India. So in light of this article, let us see the basis of the Central Bureau investigation. So the Central Bureau of Investigation, the CBI, is India's primary investigating agency. So first, during the British era, it was established as Special Police Establishment in the year 1941. But later, CBI, it was changed to CBI, and CBI was officially established in the year 1963 under the Santanam Committee, which focuses on anti-corruption and associated crimes. So now it is under the Ministry of the Personal and Public Grievances and Pensions, and it is administered by the Department of Personnel and Training, which is the DOPT. So before, the Personal Public Grievances and Pension were their parent committee, but the Central Bureau of Investigation was established by the resolutions of the Ministry of Home Affairs. But later on, here Ministry of Personal Public Grievances and Pensions became the head ministry, and here it in recent times it is administered by the Department of Personnel and Training. So originally it focused on the anti-corruption, but the recent mandates has expanded to various issues such as the violations of the central laws, any cases which adheres with the violation of central laws. Next is any cases with having organized crimes and other international crimes. So here, looking into their powers and jurisdiction on the legal basis, they were established under the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act of 1946. And looking into their jurisdiction, they investigate cases across the India, especially those involving central government and the central laws. So here also there is involvement of India with other countries also, and at times it requires state government's consent for any investigations which happens within the state's jurisdiction. So altogether, looking into their key roles and responsibilities, they look into complex and criminal cases and investigations which can be both national and international. Then their main aim is to look into the anti-corruption cases where there is investigation based mostly on bribery and as well as on the misconduct which happens within our government in itself. And here the CBI stands as the Interpol license for the International Police Corporation. So here Interpol can be defined as a organization or institution which acts as a mediator to connect with member police of or organizations related to police from different countries. So here they stand as, so here the CBI stands as a mediator between India's police force as well as with other countries' police force if there is a cases anything related to the international level. Now looking into the organizational structure, first they are led by a director, that is the IPS officer with the rank of Director of General Police. So here this appointment is been, so here the news is about the appointment process of this director. So they also have specialized divisions where there are structures such as anti-corruption division, legal and research division, economic offences division, as well as special crimes divisions. Now looking into the appointment of CBI Director and their legal force, they come under the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act of 1946, which looks into the appointment process. And now it also comes under the Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act of 2019, where it expands the appointment process as well as it expands the transparency, and also it includes the collegium system, that is having a colleague of members from different expertise for the appointment process, so that it has a fair and effective appointment. Looking into the appointment process, here it contains selection committee where it has members from the Central Vigilance Commissioner and their chairperson, and next is having members from the Vigilance Commissioner's office. Next is having the Home Secretary of India under the Ministry of Home Affairs, and having secretary from the Coordination and Public Grievances. So they shortlist the candidates, and there is a recommendation committee also where there are members who recommend other members for the appointment process, and then there is the appointment committee which includes the Prime Minister of India, Leader of Opposition, the CGI, or his nominee who can be any Supreme Court judge makes the final decision, and ultimately CBI Director is appointed by the central government. So this is the appointment process. Now looking into their tenure and extension of the director of the CBI, their tenure is 2 years, but they can have an extension which is subjected to the appointment process. So here the Supreme Court has guidelines for the tenure and the extension, which ultimately reflects the independence. So here the minimal residual tenure can be for 6 months, and any issues related to transfer can have the consent with the appointment committee. Looking into the role of Chief Justice of India, first is to ensure independence. First, the main aim of independence is to preventing any political influence in the CBI appointments. Next is to ultimately uphold the rule of law and the fairness by the constitution. And next, it aligned with the Supreme Court directives. So here the Supreme Court directives includes the mandates, which has the Vineet Narain case of 1997, where it stands as a autonomy or as a structure for the role of Chief Justice of India, and it declares the fixed tenure for the CBI Director. So we can let us see the Vineet Narain case first. Here, through that case, they brought in the conclusion of CBI having independence from the political interference. Then they concluded the fixed tenure for the CBI, and next is their role on the role of high level committees for the appointment. Then there were also other cases which strengthen the role of the CBI. The cases are Common Cause versus the Union of India 1998, where it focuses on CJ's role to ensure transparency in the selection process. And next case, Prakash Singh case of 2006, it emphasized on the police reforms and the need to have a CBI being an independent agency from all of the unfairness and all of the biases. So I hope the article is clear. I hope the concept is clear. Let us move on to a prelims question. Which of the statement above is correct about the Central Bureau of Investigation? And only one first statement is right. The Central Bureau of Investigation is under the Ministry of Personal Pension and Public Grievances. The appointment committee for the CBI Director consists of Prime Minister, not Home Minister. It is the Leader of Opposition and the Chief Justice of India. The next article titled Modi and Trump to activate new Quad initiatives. Here the two leaders launch Indian Ocean Strategic Venue, a bilateral forum. So here Mr. Prime Minister Modi and Mr. President of the US, Mr. Trump, have brought in new initiatives to strengthen and deepen the strategic as well as the economic ties between India and the US, who are part of the Quad. So, along with the formation of this bilateral forum, there are more emphasis on the associated countries or the areas along with the Indian Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, and other Western countries who are in the part of the Indian Ocean. So, in light of this article, let us see the basis for the Quad. So, here the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, is an informal strategic forum. Informal as in they are known for as a platform to have communication and consistent planning on the well-being of the Quad countries. So it comprises the Indo-Pacific countries such as the India, US, Japan, and Australia. So looking into their objectives, on the focus of regional stability, they focus on having free, open, inclusive, resilient Indo-Pacific region, which is open for all of the dialogues and all of the commitments to increase their economic as well as their strategic potential. So the other focus is to uphold the international law, which can be both adhered to both the land as well as the sea. Here they focus on the sovereignty, territorial integrity, as well as having a rules based order, so there is consistency and there is no biases. And finally is to enhance the maritime security, that is to bring in a maritime domain awareness. Now looking into the strategic importance, so first is to countering coercion. Coercion means to have to see something out of force. So here they focus on having freedom of all nations uh, and all regions, especially in the maritime region, where not every country or every region need to be dominant on other. So everyone is equal and everyone needs to have the freedom from the coercion for all nations to put in their opinions as well as to put in their efforts on a fair basis. And next is to have a collective security, which is to address all of the national, international, as well as the regional challenges. Now looking into the article, there has been a initiative by US and India among the Quad integration, which is called as the Indian Ocean Strategic Venue. So it is a bilateral forum established by India and the United States to enhance the economic connectivity and commerce in the Indian Ocean especially. Now looking into their significance in the regional security. So through this venture, we can see the important significances, especially in the regional security, as it aligns with the main objective. First is the maritime cooperation. Ultimately, it is to strengthen the maritime security and having strategic stability. So here, it along with having maritime security, it ensures a stable as well as a secure maritime environment. So there is focus on both security and enhancement. Now looking into the significance of Quad to India, first is the economic connectivity. Uh, Having focuses on the infrastructural development. Here it includes critical infrastructures related to maritime, especially having economic corridors and including Indo-Pacific countries, the Middle Eastern countries, as well as the Europe. So here we can see the adjoining sub-regions, which is the western side as well as the eastern side of all in the Indian Ocean especially. So here it adheres with the whole idea of India's role in the maritime security, that is, as India is the key security provider. Of course, strategically they are very important as they are placed in the middle of the here in Indian Ocean. So it's vital to have connections with all of its sub-regions, that is to contribute to the regional stability. And next is to have a capacity building efficiency, where there is enhancement of collective maritime security capability, such as we can include digital integration. For example, that is having undersea cable networks for connectivity. Now, looking into India's role in maritime and security, Quad role in maritime and security and economic connectivity. First is to have the focus on securing sea lanes and the trade routes. So here it ultimately has its objective on freedom of navigation in those trade routes and sea lanes, where there is unhindered maritime trade with both fair economy and fair prices and fair by non-biases, and also adhering to the international laws ultimately to have a rule-based economy. And next is to fight for the anti-piracy operations. Here it ensures safety of the commercial vessels of board and the infrastructural developments. Now looking into the regional cooperation, here the bilateral and multilateral engagements are in utmost importance, where it addresses maritime challenges collectively, especially in the regional areas. And next is to have information sharing, which is the Indian Fusion Committee and the Indian Ocean region. Here they enhance maritime domain awareness by bringing in data analysis and having information sharing in a confidentiality. And looking into the economic connectivity, having they have focus on the infrastructure development. For example, the Sagamala initiative, which is a port initiative where there is advancement of both connectivity of the countries as well as in the modern equipment. And next is having a port development and enhancing the blue economic promotion ultimately. So blue economy is the water economy, where there is both development as well as the sustainable use of the ocean resources, and also adhering to the rules and adhering to the coastal regions of countries who are having the ocean resources, and there is fair intake of the resources, and there is fair approach or process to intake those resources. So I hope the article is clear and there is a fair understanding of the quad. Now let us move on to a prelims practice question. Consider the following statements about the quad and which of the statements are correct. So here only second one is right here. The Quad members recently launched the IOSV, a bilateral forum not between India and Australia but between India and US to enhance the maritime security. The second one is right. One of the objective of Quad is to promote a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific region while ensuring economic strategic cooperation. The next article titled Guardians of Green Gold. So here the article mainly discusses about the importance of the bamboo, which is considered as a green gold, especially in the areas of the Godavari Valley of the Andhra Pradesh, and the specific tribe such as the Konda Reddy tribe are viewing bamboo as their green gold. So in light of the article, let us see the basics for the bamboo, which is considered as a green gold. So here let us see why bamboo is called as the green gold of India. First, looking at its economic potential. So first, bamboo is a very versatile, it's a very sustainable, and it's a very economic value integrated plant. And through these reasons, we can understand how it is a integrate part of almost all of the local communities, especially in the region of the Godavari Valley of Andhra Pradesh. So first, looking at its economic potential, it supports millions of livelihoods, both the rural as well as our tribal communities. Next is their economic and environmental benefits. First, they are known to have the capacity of the carbon dioxide absorption, and they prevent soil erosion as well as they prevent the land degradation, and they are known to be having a efficiency for the biodiversity support because they are one of the most sustainable as well as one of the most versatile plant. How they are sustainable? First, not like unlike the hard trees which takes time to grow, here they have the fast growth rate which also has 3 to 5 years of harvest years. So they are grown as soon as possible and their harvest time is also very little. Now looking into why they are versatile, they are used in a lot of economic activities which can be turned into economic value, such as they are used in the construction, they are used in the field of handicrafts, they are used for making a lot of local uh, souvenirs which ultimately increases their tourism support and their profit. Next, they can be used as food. There are delicious foods around bamboo, and next they can be used as a paper, and also they are used as a biofuel. So their scope to be a versatile crop is a must wide. And looking in their role in India, they are we are the second largest producer of bamboo after the country China. So these are the reasons why bamboo can be considered as a green gold of India. Now we can see the relation of bamboo and the tribal life in the light of the Konda Reddy tribe. So the Konda Reddy tribe was established as a particularly vulnerable tribal group in the area of the Godavari Valley. So here the Konda Reddy tribe uses the Konda Veduru, which is in their local language, Veduru means bamboo species, for their food and cultural purposes. Now, usage of the bamboo shoots, they are very nutritious in nature, and they are also useful during the monsoon seasons, both for its economic value as well as they are a delicacy there. And looking into the traditional recipes, they have a cultural culinary heritage. And the Konda Veduru, where the scientific name is this, they are native to the Godavari Valley, which is a subspecies of the bamboo, and it thrives in the both tropical as well as in the subtropical climates. And looking into the annual tradition, they are used in multiple activities, such as collection, drying and sale of the bamboo shoots. Moving on to the environmental benefits, first they act as a carbon sequestration. So here high content of carbon dioxide is being observed by them, where they stand as a combating measure to reduce the global warming by reducing the greenhouse gases. Next is they act as a soil conservation infrastructure, where the deep roots of the bamboo prevent erosion and land degradation, and they maintain the uh, water level of the soil, and they act as a recharge for the groundwater. Looking into their biodiversity role, here they act as a biodiversity for and habitats for many wildlife species, such as the key species such as pandas, elephants, and they also restore the degraded lands. Now, moving on to their challenges, first we need to see the policy barriers. Before 2017, they were classified as a tree under the Indian Forest Act of 1927. So it was very difficult for them, for the tribal communities especially, to render them as in their cultivation programs and in their consumption and profitization. Then, but after 2017, it was reclassified as a grass, so it increased the scope for them to be included in the cultivation and in the commercialization process. So according to the before act, since they were considered as a tree, they had they had no permission of cutting down those trees for cultivation purposes. But after the act, they, since they are classified as grass, it has led them to let them, the tribal communities especially, to be part of their cultivation as well as their commercialization. So both in the forest and non-forest areas, there is access to them. And according to the Scheduled Tribes Forest Dwellers Act, they are known to be as a minor forest produce. So this was also a question in the UPSC, I think in the year of 2019. Now next challenge would be known as its awareness and technology. Here there are very limited knowledge of scientific farming and research and development, especially for a country like India, since we are the second largest producer. Next is having market linkages. There are very inadequate processing, supply chain management and organized markets for the bamboo product. And next is looking into the pest and diseases. There are issues such as die-offs, there are issues such as fungal bacterial infections and other diseases, where it hinders the growth of the bamboo. Now let us see few government initiatives which support the bamboo production. First is the National Bamboo Mission in 2018. This is considered to be one of the landmark initiatives for bamboo especially. So it comes under the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. They focus on cultivating the bamboo, processing and having value addition to it, and also the farmers are provided with subsidies. Now this has been restructured, the National Bamboo Mission has been restructured especially in the year of 2020, where it strengthens the importance of farmer and their collective effort, as it recognizes their efforts. So it enhances the farmers collectives, such as the other species of the bamboo. And there is also importance of the public private partnerships role and export promotion, that is increase of the export processes. And next initiative would be the Atmanirbhar Bharat and Vocal for Local initiative, where the bamboo entrepreneurship was given importance, and importance for domestic production was first given as a priority. So I hope the article is clear and you can understand the importance of bamboo, especially in the region of the Godavari Valley. So let us move on to a prelims practice question. Which country is the largest producer of bamboo in the world? And the answer is China. Moving on to the next article titled Masters of the Sea. So here the eighth Indian Ocean Conference is being conducted by the in the IOR region, that is the Indian Ocean region, to increase the maritime supremacy, especially between India and regions around the Indian Ocean, to have security on the maritime issues, and also on its deepening these strategies related to this strategic importance. So in light of this article, let us have a analysis on the India's role in the maritime region. First, having a historical perspective first. So for the term Indian Ocean has a lot of significances, especially from the historical uh, time period to till present. So here in the article, partners from the various regions such as the Oman and the Singapore are bringing in their ties to deepen the maritime strategies. So here ancient Indian maritime powers such as the Manigramam, Chettis, Nandas, Andhras, Pallavas and Cholas had their influence over the Indian Ocean region, especially in the maritime region. Next, the Kautilya's book of the Arthashastra emphasized on the port management. This book is famous for its on its economic development. Here it emphasized on the port management, especially for maritime regions. Next, the account of Fahen's account and historical evidence of how there is strong Indian maritime presence. It's a no, it's an account by a foreigner. So Fahen's we all have known in the historical basis. He is a travelogue. He's an ancient travelogue, especially in the 5th century. And having looking into the colonial dominance, there were also dominant positions by other countries to take into the maritime importance, such as the Portuguese, Dutch, French, and British. And after the supremacy of the British have neglected as they prioritize mostly on land-based strategies, hindering Indians shipbuilding and their dominance all over. So this is the historical perspective when it comes to the Indian Ocean region especially. Now what is this Indian Ocean Conference? So it's a diplomatic event where it aims for maritime security and regional cooperations, especially trade in the Indian Ocean region. So this conference is conducted annually since the 2016, and looking into the participants, it involves foreign members, the policy makers, expertise, and other strategic experts related to the maritime evolution and economic development of all of the regions which are in support of the Indian Ocean region strategically and in interest wise. So it involves members from all of these countries interested. Now looking into their importance, strategic importance, first the Indian Ocean region connects Africa, the Middle East, South Asia, and the Southeast Asia. In the before article, we would have seen that map how there are subregions colliding with the Indian Ocean region, where it stands as a triangular, and how India is a key component in it. Next, here it is crucial for global trade. So, according to the article, they have given the statistics. So, almost that Indian Ocean region is almost crucial for global trade, which is 70% of oil transport, 80% in the energy trade, and 90% in the international trade. So, the choke points, the important strategic choke points such as the Strait of Hormuz, Bab el Mandeb, which is in the all of these are in the Middle East, and the Malacca Strait are one of the important choke points for the ships, especially to travel for its trade and communication. Next, it is also interest of major global players, such as it connects various other global players such as the US, China, and the European nations. So there has always been a eye on the Indian Ocean region, and the interest of major global players such as these countries are having in constant engagement to bring in their involvement through port strategies and so on. Now, looking into India's maritime policy and challenges, first, after the independence, there were underutilization of the maritime potential, and there were low global shipbuilding rank, which is the 20th, where India was placed as 20th, and it was having minimal market share, which is almost 0.6 percentage according to the article. So here the author, PM Panikar's book called The India and the Indian Ocean in 1945 emphasized on the importance of naval power. So there has been consistent focus on increasing the naval power of India after the post independence. So first the initial focus was on the continental defense. So defense was here first and major priority. Next, after post independence, there were more importance for port strategics. As I told before, the Sagarmala project, which is a port autonomy, which helped in having a infrastructure development, and other initiatives like the Maritime India Vision of 2030 are focusing on strengthening the coastal infrastructure and the shipping mechanisms and the shipping buildings. Now, looking into challenges in the Indian Ocean, first is the issue of piracy and seaborne terrorism. Next is climate change and the rising sea levels, especially for the coastal areas and the adjoining cities. Next is illegal fishing and resource exploitation. And next is Navy competition, where, as I told before, the US, China, and India, such as the US, China, along with the Indian region, there has been competition on having their infrastructure as well as the economic dominance. Now, looking into recent developments and global engagement, there has been increased maritime collaborations. It also includes countries like US, UK, France, Japan, and Australia. We have seen the Quad also. Next is having Indo-Pacific strategy, that is the Quad ultimately to have free, open, secure maritime domain, inclusive and resilient. Next is having a global South Summit where it includes India's regional leadership along with the sub-regions, and Quad Indo-Pacific security. So I hope the article is clear. Now let us move on to a prelims practice question. What is the primary focus of the Indian Ocean Conference? That is to have maritime security and regional cooperation. Of course, these reasons might look uh, convincing, but the most important is this word. So here it focuses mainly on the maritime security. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are at the end of the video. Don't forget to give a like, comment, and share. And to further not to miss any other content, subscribe to our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.